G'day everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, here it is. I've got the man himself. This is Mr. Gryphon Audio. Rune is in the house. He's travelled all the way over from Europe to be with us here at the StereoNet Melbourne Hi-Fi show. So, Rune, how have you found the show, and what are you thinking about Australia and your time here so far?
So far, it's been really great, Shane.
Yep.
You know, it is my first time to Australia.
Yeah, I did know that.
Ever. And it was a long one going here. I'm told it was 29 hours.
Yeah, I think I actually sent this man an email, and he was in Doha, for goodness sake.
Yes.
The poor guy, and he was like, you know, having a layover there before he did the big stretch to Australia. We really are out of the way down here, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's been so cool, Shane. I really like being here.
Yep.
I love the tendencies coming here.
Yep.
You know, the crowd.
Yes.
Friendly.
Yep. We're Aussies, mate.
Yes.
We're very
open-hearted,
friendly,
and it was also what I expected.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it has really been a big joy.
Yep.
And it's nice being here together with the team from Advance as well.
Yeah.
You know, so
Nigel and the guys.
Yes. Good to see Mark from StereoNet.
Yeah. Yep.
So
absolutely.
Absolutely, it's been great. I will definitely be back next year again.
Yep.
So
brilliant. Well, we'll no doubt we'll catch up again with this guy, because I'm a bit of a fan of him. I just love what he does, and I love the way that he passionately pushes that whole mantra that is Gryphon Audio. Now, you know from my channel that I've had a Diablo 300. I've had a few other Gryphon products. And I'm hoping to get a 333 in the room for you guys, so I can do a review of that. And so we're going to talk to Nigel about that before the day's out. And as I said, having Rune here in this country is a real treat for us, because he's if you are coming to the show or you've been to the show, you know that this guy just holds a room. You know, he's I've been in and out of the rooms watching him do his thing for over the course of the weekend, and he's an entertainer. You know, he's the guy that you want to go in and listen to talk about Gryphon, and that's why we love him, and that's why we're so happy to have him here. Now, I've got a few questions. So we want to talk about things like I wanted to talk to you about the origins of Gryphon Audio, and then your time with Gryphon Audio, and to tell our subscribers, our people about that.
Yeah, Gryphon was founded back in 1985 by Mr. Rasmussen Fleming, and we have always been based in Denmark. We manufacture everything in Denmark as well. That's important for us.
Yep.
We can maintain control of the production. So it was kind of like a baby, a dream for Mr. Rasmussen to do it. I think it was not intentionally that it should become what it is today.
Yep.
And I think what he did over the years, the way that he was paving the road for the brand, was very unique, because he had a very clear vision how he wanted to, or the way that he wanted to present the brand, what you should stand for as a brand. That was very important. It was something that we actually take good care of. The initial idea, of course, it evolves over time. Graphic designer, an artist. So he was doing all the design of the box,
and that's why they stand out from everything else.
Yes, and I think that's important for the brand, that we stand out. That it's very similar. I've said over and over again. I think that we have this distinct design that everyone will notice immediately. Some people love us, other people would say maybe it's a little bit too decadent, or a little bit too much, or whatever. Yeah, so do I. Because I think it's very, bang on. It's very similar to like Lamborghini, how they do their stuff. You know.
There's a certain look that you know the product for the look of the product. And that's super important, because it gives you that ability to be different.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, they're all square boxes that make sound, aren't they?
Yes. But I think a phenomenal electronic design that performs very well also needs to come with a very certain aesthetics.
Yep.
It needs to look good.
Absolutely.
I think that's important when you bring it into a living room. You have to live with it. It becomes like a sculptural piece. Because we have to admit that most of the information that we actually collect is through our eyes.
Absolutely, it is. Right.
So when you're sitting there listening to your system, you will also look at your equipment.
You do.
So it should have a design that appeals to you.
I couldn't agree more.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
So the brand was growing through the 90s and
Yes.
into the zeros and so on.
Yes.
I came on board in 2015.
Yes.
After a 3-year run at Monos Cables.
Yep.
And at that time I was handling Europe and so on. I was not really traveling Asia and I was not traveling US.
Yes.
As I did with Nordics.
Yep.
But it was something that was very close to my heart. I wanted to go back to Asia because that's where I've really been, performing well.
Yes.
And where I had great contacts. I had a good touch with the customer base there and so on. So I decided actually to resign from the company 2 years later.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay, I did not know that.
I did. So I was away for 1 year. 2018, I was brought back to the company by the new CEO,
Right.
Mr. Audiophile.
Yes.
Him and our main CEO, Thomas Bostic, they wanted me to come back. We made an agreement, and it was just on from there.
Wow.
Just moving forward.
Yep.
I'm the sales director for the company.
Yes.
CEO and president of our American daughter company.
Yep.
USA has been very, very instrumental in our growth.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's one of the best decisions, one of the best business decisions that I've made in my career with it.
Yeah.
Creating that subsidiary.
Yes.
Taking the time to build it in the right way.
Yep.
Working with the right partners. So US today is very, very important, right?
Yeah.
And now we actually have made a significant footprint.
Yes.
Because in the past I think we were considered very esoteric.
Yeah.
And not exclusive.
Yeah.
And
Not now.
No,
Not now.
No, that has changed.
Yeah,
That has
absolutely.
really, really changed.
Yeah, I would agree.
And we have so many great partners there who understands the philosophy around the brand, what we want to achieve, and how we want people to see us.
Yeah. Yep.
And they are great working together with. That's also why I spent quite a long time in the US.
Yes.
But that has been to grow the brand even further.
Yes.
So overall, there has been like a very consistency in our way of working.
Yeah.
We don't change direction
No.
because the wind blows in another way.
Yeah. And that will get you lost very quickly in this game. You've got to stay steadfast to what you believe
Absolutely. We have a very steady course.
Yeah.
We believe in it. Of course, it can be a rough time right now.
Yep. Financially around the world. Yep.
You've got wars around the world.
Yes.
You've got geopolitical issues that
Dude.
you have to deal with.
Yes.
And that affects any business.
Of course it does. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
It
Yes.
does.
Yep.
More or less. It depends.
Yep.
But you have to take all that into consideration, and then you have to adjust your strategies and so on. How you want to approach the market.
Yes.
And
Yep.
do you need to think in a different way? And that's also a very interesting part of the business.
Well, it's the adjusting the stuff behind the scenes while still staying that course that you're known for.
Yes, absolutely.
And that just shows the flexibility that the company has to be able to go with the trade winds, as it were, but yet still, from a public point of view, be right on point for the brand.
Yeah, and that has been instrumental for us over the years.
Yeah.
I love working with the brand. For me, it's I travel 150 days a year.
Yes. It's crazy, mate. Crazy.
And you can't do that if you don't have like the backing from your
Absolutely.
family.
Yep.
That's
super important.
That's a key factor. That's number one. If my wife and my kids they were not supporting me,
You couldn't do
I
it.
would be dead in the water immediately.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna break in. I hope Rune doesn't mind me doing this, but he spoke to me yesterday and he said something to me that I went away and thought about, and I travel around the world a bit as well, and the thing that he does, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, is that when he gets to a hotel room, he sets his things out. He actually makes it feel like his home. And I thought about that, and I thought that's a true committed family man for a start, number one, and also somebody who is an experienced traveller, because you've got to feel like you've got a home base.
It's so important, otherwise it's impossible to act, because as the way that you started this interview was that being on stage, performing, capturing the audience and so on, you are on stage, you have to perform.
You do.
And you have one shot in the rifle.
Yes, that's right.
And if I disappoint people by not being, bang on from the very beginning, then
you're dead in the water, aren't
yes,
you? You really are.
Completely. So preparing for each and every demonstration requires that I also have the me time.
Yes.
The home, which is my hotel room.
Yeah.
Which sounds so weird, but it is. It's that's my second home.
It's half of your life.
Yes.
At currently.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's very important for me, that I have this space where I can recharge and just get back to normal. Before the next show starts.
Yeah.
And you have to be on stage and make sure that people there feeling welcome, and it's genuine.
Yeah.
That it's not an armor you put on.
No. Because then that looks fake as well.
Yes.
So you've got to be natural.
Yeah.
And I'm much the same. So, but this is. So let's go on and talk about. We've spoken about your involvement in the company and things like that. What about new products? Is there anything new coming up for Gryphon Audio that you can talk to us about?
And that's the thing, Jake.
I've got to ask the hard-hitting questions, Rune.
Because we never disclose that.
Oh, right. Okay.
Never.
Yes.
And sometimes it can be a little bit disappointing for our distributors because they don't know up front.
Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah.
But that's the philosophy.
It's been a part of the strategy always.
Yep. I respect
that we keep that to ourselves.
Yes.
Because there is also a tendency for people, they know that something new is coming. Then they wait.
Yeah,
but what about the next one?
Yeah. Good point.
Luckily, when we decide to design something and put it into production, it should stay in production for a minimum of 8 years.
Which is one of the things I love about the company too, by the way.
Because you buy into security.
Yeah. Correct.
That your investment is not gone the next year because there's a Mark II version.
Yes.
And if we were able to do a Mark II version 1 year later, we wouldn't have been doing our job good enough.
Well said. Yeah, I agree.
So, and a design process is a long process.
Yeah.
From the first drawings to the actual product being launched.
Yeah.
That's typically a process between 2 and 3 years.
Okay. Yeah, great. Well, that just goes to show that if you're going to design something, make sure you've ticked all the boxes for that design brief.
Yes.
And then you are free to release, and you know that you're covered for that 8-year period.
Yeah.
That's one of the philosophies. One of the things I love about Gryphon Audio is that when you buy into the brand, you are buying an investment. You are buying something that is actually going to be there. And I mean, even your classic amplifiers are still extremely well regarded, and they have a different flavour, and each one, and that caters for all, and that's why you go into that design process and you go, right, we haven't caught this part of the market, we want to design something to satisfy our buyers in that area, and that's smart marketing and smart strategy.
And I'm really proud of that. What was designed back in the 90s.
Yep.
Those products, they're still alive.
Yeah.
They're still out there.
They are.
Playing
Absolutely, they
in
are.
people's houses.
Yes.
And, creating joy.
Yep.
Emotions and
Yes.
stuff like that. And I think that's an important part
Yes.
of the Gryphon brand.
Yep.
That when we build something, it's built to last.
Yes.
So it's not a buy and throw away
Yes.
mentality.
No.
It becomes like a circular economy.
Yep.
And for many people, it's the first Gryphon is a second-hand Gryphon.
Yes.
That's where the journey starts.
Yep. And they're still buying a quality product that is performing as good as it did when it was brand new.
Yeah. And I think that's important, especially in the world we are living in today.
Yep. I agree.
Where you see a lot of products being produced, 2 years down the line they are in the bin.
Yes.
And we are talking about the nature, and we're talking about environmental stuff, and so on.
Yes.
I think that the footprint we create is very small when you have an amplifier or phono stage or whatever, which is alive 30 years from now.
Yes. That's a great philosophy.
Yeah.
It really is. So let's talk a little bit about the newer products that Gryphon has launched.
Yep.
So we've got today here at the show, Rune is presenting with the Diablo 333, which is the current entry level for Gryphon audio.
Yes.
And it's a hell of an entry level product, let me tell you. My goodness, I've been up in that room listening to that thing, and it's got such a grip on those Estalons. It is remarkably good. Now I've had, as you know, I've had a 300, and I was thoroughly impressed with that amplifier, but this thing is like head and shoulders better than it, I can tell you now. So again, amazing design philosophy to go back in there and say, how can we make this thing even better than it already is? Now I wouldn't have thought that was easy to do, but my goodness, tell us a little bit about the 333.
We were not sure that we could achieve such a big jump in terms of performance, because I still think the 300 is a marvelous.
I agree.
Marvelous amplifier.
Absolutely, I agree.
And it is by far the best-selling Gryphon amplifier ever.
Yeah, wow.
It has been the bread and butter for Gryphon for 7 years.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that we're always trying to do things better.
Yep.
And it is more or less free hands to our chief engineer Tom.
Yes.
And I have to go to the Apex power amplifier.
Yep.
Just to brief.
Of course.
Because the Apex power amplifier, we introduced some new transistors.
Yep. I was going to touch on this, so you covered this beautifully.
Because those transistors, we are using them in the Diablo 333.
Okay. Yes.
So sonically, it carries a lot of the signature. The speed, the transparency, the control, the dynamics.
Yes.
And because the Apex is probably the most sonic neutral amplifier we have ever designed.
Yep.
By a huge margin.
Yep. I've heard it on several occasions now. It's a stunningly good get out of the road amplifier. It just gets out of the way, does not put any of its fingerprints on the signal. And I find the 333 is my God, that's a great amplifier, and it's almost a mini Apex.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people they have been telling me.
Yep.
Lately, when they are listening to it, of course they get a lot more of the Apex.
Yeah.
And
of
they
course.
have to.
Yes, of course.
They have to.
Yeah.
But with the 333, you got this sonic signature that we move away from. Let's say, if someone is saying, "Oh, do you have a house sound?" and we tend to say, "No, we don't have a house sound.
No, you don't.
We should be sonic neutral."
Yep.
And we have become better and better doing that over the years.
Yes.
And especially now with the 333, that I think we are getting there. I think it's the first AB amplifier that actually ticks some of the boxes that it actually sounds like the Class A amplifiers.
Yep.
In terms of control, transparency, dynamic range, and it's powerful, it's effortless. It has changed our perception of what we are capable of in terms of integrated amplifiers.
Oh, it's a game changer, the amplifier. It really is.
And it's not just like a small upgrade from the 300, like I said, and it's also a completely new design.
Yeah.
It's not just like a revamp where we do like 10% different stuff.
It's completely different, and it sounds completely different. I just didn't think you could improve a box like that, like you have. blown me away this weekend.
I remember when I've been juggling around with the 300. You know, it weighs 36 kilos. It's a relatively large integrated amplifier.
My word.
But the 333, even the toroidal transformer, is 22.4 kilos. So in total, it weighs 50.2 or 50.4 kilos.
So that's a big weight gain, isn't it?
It's a big weight gain. And it's not just because we have added lead to it.
Absolutely, I agree. You can hear where the improvements are across that amplifier. And further to that, there's module upgrades that you can talk to me about too, isn't there, in relation to the 333?
Yes. We designed a whole new DAC module.
Yep.
Round up. Which I really like. It's cool.
Yep.
It's so cool. But the module that I fancy the most is the phono.
The phono pro, yeah.
I think what Tom achieved with that phono module is astonishing. It's just a killer.
Yep.
And of course it's a true dual mono, just like the amplifier.
Unbelievable.
It's fully balanced all the way down to the circuit board. So it's mirror design.
Wow. Well, there's the weight gain. I mean, to get all this, to do all of this, there has to be a weight gain, and it's in the right areas. We're not just talking about, as Rune said, adding lead to the thing so it feels like it's a new product and it weighs more, so it's got to be better. There's a huge topology upgrade in that amplifier to make it what it is these days. Yeah.
And like I said, with the phono board side, we designed it in a way where it becomes a little bit puristic.
Yes.
So it is only with XLR inputs.
Yep.
Because the cartridge is always fully balanced.
Correct.
So for us, there was no reason to do RCAs on it.
Fair enough, I agree.
And some people they say, oh, but my intention is with RCAs. But there's no
real reason.
No. And we believe in that true dual mono design. We believe in the balanced topology.
Absolutely you do.
It's something we have done since day one with
the
little head amp.
Yes.
So we have just continued that path. So when, it's being conservative, no doubt.
Yep.
But it's also being consistent.
Yes.
And actually improving on something that we already know quite a lot about.
Yep.
But you can always add more to that. And that's the thing about our industry, that it's not a revolution, it's an evolution over time.
Correct, I agree.
We become better and better, we do better circuitries, we use better components, so on, and we become better at designing the products.
Absolutely.
And
that's the evolution of the product as you're moving forward. So you're never resting, are you? You're always finding how can we possibly make this product better?
And that's also I think why we give free hands to the R&D team, that there is not like an axe on their neck saying, oh, you got to be doing it like this. This is the budget.
Yes.
It will have to cost this and that, because then we do it in the wrong way.
Yes, correct.
Because we do it inside out.
Yep. And that's wrong. Yeah, I agree. Well, I agree. That's wrong.
So that's how we do it, and they get the time to do it. Of course, I'm always there aiming to get the next product, because working in sales, you want to have something new.
You want to have something new.
Exciting stuff.
Yep. Let's talk about the power zone, because that is another new product for Gryphon Audio that I heard at AVGI when you were in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about that as a new product. And what can you tell me about that?
It's the first time ever we go into that business with the actual power products.
Yeah.
And we were in the beginning, what should we call a product like that? Is it conditioning or whatever? Because it's not. So we call it optimization. The power zone is based around the philosophy of the Hafner technology.
Yes.
Which has been developed over the past, I think, 14 years by Mr. Hafner in Romania.
Yes.
I've been knowing Paul for 12 years, I think. and I've been following his developments over time.
Yes.
And he works with different metallurgies, different dimensions. He runs the company Quantum Acoustics in Romania.
Yes.
And that can be hard to explain.
Yeah.
Because then you're talking more dimensions than just the three-dimensionality
Yes,
that
correct.
we know.
Yep.
But all metallurgies, everything we do inside power supply, they are based and they're chosen by the resonance properties.
Yes.
To create less turbulence around the signal.
Around the signal. Yes.
So we try to, and I think we have achieved, create an optimal environment for the power.
Yes.
So we don't have any filters, capacitors, transformers, anything inside.
In the signal part, no.
No. We run the power through specific alloys.
Yes.
In a certain environment with the right dimensions. I cannot talk about the alloys, what type of alloys we are using, because it's patent pending. It's a world patent that we are taking on the technology.
Excellent.
But it's very, very audible.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yes.
Immediately. And it is not system depending or brand depending.
Yep.
It goes equally well with a Marantz or a Denon or a Mark Levinson or whatever.
The thing that I noticed, and this is my own personal view on this, is that when I heard it, it seems to impart a calmness in the component that's plugged into it. An ease. You just tend to relax easier into the music. Would that be accurate?
That's very accurate. And because we don't add anything to the signal.
Yeah.
We just treat the signal.
Correct.
Right. So we are not creating like a new sine wave.
No.
50 or 60 Hz sine wave. We allow the power to run through the alloys, and therefore we create this optimal environment.
Yeah. And that comes across in the component.
Yes. And you hear it immediately.
Yeah.
It's so audible. But I really, really like that it's for everyone, that you can use it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't have to be a Gryphon product. It's attached to.
No. I really like that.
Yeah.
It also gives us, of course, a new business opportunity.
Sure.
Because suddenly we can tap into other client systems,
Surely,
non-Gryphonistas, but who put their love into Acrophase or whatever. And then, if they want to improve their systems,
they can become Gryphonistas.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But in a different way, because normally the natural way of stepping into the brand is of course with an amplifier.
With an amplifier, of course. Yeah. So there's another avenue in which people can really understand the philosophy around why Gryphon do what they do. And then you can impart that calmness on your other components, and then of course the natural question after that is, well, I wonder what this thing would sound like if I plugged it into a 333 and bought a 333 to try it with, or an Apex and a commander setup or something like that, if you're lucky enough to do that. Yes, absolutely.
But it's remarkable, and we were actually testing it on the Diablo 333. That was like the shootout. It was great. It was great fun because Paul came up to us from Romania. He came with prototypes.
Yes.
We more or less invited everyone from the company to be part of the listening.
Then there is.
And take some notes.
Yes.
Let's talk about what you feel, what you hear, because it's also about the emotions.
Absolutely. Music is about feeling.
Yes.
That I like it this way. I go, well, we call it. I mean, my channel is an Aussie Audiophile, but I'm a music lover. Rune is a music lover. I mean, that Tool track we played yesterday, well, I was just right into that, which is one of Rune's favourite tracks. And that through the 333 yesterday was stunningly good. Like again, and I could see him absolutely into I looked over a couple of times, and he was just submersed into that track. It was 11 minutes of absolute drumming fury. It was, and it just took you to another place. So I loved it too, and I actually said to him after that presentation, I said, "Man, that was a great track. I loved that track too." So let's just finish up by talking a little bit about about you and what's coming up for you, and what do you tell your fans, people that are going to be watching this, that love you as much as I do, what's coming up next for Rune?
Yeah, it's been a joy of mine so far. You know, I love being with Gryphon. It's my second family. I love going around the globe, seeing you.
Thank you, mate.
Seeing other friends, because the people that I work with, they become my friends. I'm here to create relationships,
and you do that really beautifully well.
Maintaining those relationships, because when we are in our industry, it's a lot more than just a product.
I agree.
It's a lot more.
I agree completely.
That's why I really like being out here. I really like being in touch with end users.
Yes.
Because when they buy into Gryphon, they also buy into the company, just a tiny bit of it.
Absolutely.
Taking pride in actually being a Gryphonista.
Yes.
And being a part of something bigger. Because being a Gryphonista is like being part of a big community or a family.
A family.
We want to create this family bond with people.
So
after Australia, I'll be home for a couple of days. Then it's just a couple of days. Then I'm also off to Warsaw for the big Warsaw show.
Yes.
So we have several shows at the end of the year as well.
Yes.
Probably I will get like 10 days off around Christmas and New Year, and then we
back into it again. Next year.
Yes, that's the name of the game. But it's great fun. The company is also transforming in a new way. My son Alexander is now working with us.
Fantastic.
And he's been with us now for a year.
Yes.
Brilliant. Yes.
I can't believe you've got a son old enough to be working in the company.
He actually joined us last year, and his second day at work, it was at the Hong Kong show. So he was baptized in fire immediately.
Yes, at the Hong Kong show. My God.
Yeah, so
that's throwing him in the deep end.
Yes. Why not? So Alexander, he's handling all our Sony content. He's building all our adverts for different magazines. And he's been building the new website as well.
Wow, fantastic.
And
the next generation, mate, they're all about the internet, aren't they?
Yes, and I think it's important to bring a younger generation into the team, because we are all like plus 50. And eventually
we'll all shuffle off into retirement.
Yes,
and we've got to bring the next generation on.
Yes,
and train them well.
Yes, and make them into high-end audio and make them into music, because they are all music lovers. They are big consumers of music.
Yes.
But Alexander right now, he's in Norway today. Last weekend he was doing the Dutch show in Holland. That was his first show on his own.
Fantastic! Oh, wow!
And this weekend it's Norway.
Yes. So Dad's been checking in with him, has he?
Yeah.
He's doing well.
He's doing well. He's
fine. Brilliant.
And during the Warsaw show, there is also the Paris audio show, and he will be doing that. So,
fantastic!
So suddenly, him and I, we can bounce back and forth.
Catch up with each other like ships in the night on the road.
And hopefully we can inspire each other to become even better at what we are doing. Last couple of years for me has been pretty intense. I've been doing some studies as well at Copenhagen Business Academy. Taking a couple of degrees.
Wow.
I work also as an advisory board for a big automotive company.
Oh wow, okay.
So that's also a part of the game.
How do you fit all this in?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
He's a driven man, and you can see it in him. He's fit as a fiddle, absolutely driven, and that comes across in the presentations as well. He's just been a joy to have here. And I suppose we should finish off by talking a little bit about the dealers that you are representing while you're here in Australia. So tell us a little bit about Nigel's people.
Nigel's business is incredible, because Audio Connection, Advanced Audio, so Kepco is our longest partner. We've been together with Nigel and his team since 1986.
Wow, that's right back in the beginnings.
Very big.
Wow,
the company was 1 year old.
Oh my God!
And it all started with a it turned into be a true friendship based on passion for music,
Yep.
the love to people, the love to the brand, and so on between Mr. Rasmussen and now, unfortunately, the late Mr. Joseph Ridiger.
Yes, yes.
But they had an incredible relationship.
And it's continued on with Nigel now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And you guys. Yeah.
Yes,
and you,
absolutely. So Nigel has really taken over the whole, doing an incredible job. You know, he's
Yeah.
young, but he's
Yes.
driven, he's
Yes.
motivated.
Yeah. He's running around as much as Rune is at the show. I've been watching
He's so
him too.
focused,
Yeah, he is.
and
Yeah.
I see how deeply respected he is by his crew members.
Yeah, yeah.
So even though you have some old timers, some old cats running around, you know,
Yeah.
they respect him greatly.
Well, that says a good operator's you know, he's a great operator and
Yes.
a good people person.
Yes, yes. So working with Advanced Audio is for me just a joy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a friend to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can talk about a lot of other stuff
Yeah.
than just high-end audio.
Yes.
It's family thing.
Yeah,
So,
great. And
you know,
that makes that whole coming down here and it won't feel like as much work because you're amongst friends, and that's the why we're all here, what we're doing, what we're doing.
Yeah.
It really is. Well, I'll leave a link in the description of this video for Nigel's people,
Yep.
and we'll make sure that if you need any Gryphon products at all or anything that Nigel is able to help you guys, and I'll leave a link so that you can get onto Nigel's people and certainly let's all thank
I
Rune.
think they are so important because
Yep.
they were pioneering high-end audio in Australia.
They were absolutely
That company,
yes,
and the guys behind it.
Yep.
Joseph was the massive
Yeah,
part
yeah.
to that, and I think that's important for people to understand that when you get into get in touch with the guys
Yep.
from Advance, you know, you get proper advice.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Super professional.
Yep.
They know what they're doing.
Yes.
And they will take care of you. They will support you in a way.
Yeah,
That's important.
and that's super important,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it makes it so much easier for a professional like you that can come in with a really high-end audio company like Gryphon Audio and feel like you know your product's well supported by those
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Rune, thank you so much for
I thank
spending some
you.
time.
I thank
I
you,
really
Shane.
enjoyed this chat. I know we've been trying to set this up for a while, and
Yeah.
it's been an absolute joy to have him on the channel. So again, thank you, mate. We'll look forward to seeing you very soon, and
Likewise.
with all my guys will be following to see what Rune's doing next, and we'll see you here next year for sure.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, everybody, thanks very much for watching.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.